They look so unfamiliar in these uniforms they wore for only 2 years. Matt Prater's their kickoff man. Off we go from San Diego. Throws from the 8. Quickly down at the 22. That was forced by Wesley Woodyard and tackled by David Bruton. So here comes Phillip Rivers, who has been nothing but successful, pretty much winning 2/3 of his games as he has stepped into the San Diego starting role the last 4 years. Playoffs, those 3 seasons, and as you saw, great at home, 21-5. Start of the game will be slowed by a few seconds for an injury on that kickoff return for the Chargers.
And Mike, if the Chargers going to get win number 22 at home under Phillip Rivers, they're going to have to run the football better. I mean, it's almost scary. You come here to San Diego, you expect to see LaDainian Tomlinson, the running game going. John, they're dead last in the NFL, number 32, only 2.69 yards per attempt. That's not the Chargers' way.
San Diego is a great team in this stadium. When they play here and they start fast and get this crowd in the game, that's Charger football. I don't care if they run it or throw it. They need success early tonight.
Big to get their starting linebacker Kevin Burnett up, coming off the field under his own power. He's 99. Look for him on the right side of the picture coming in, as he gets run into by Denver's Darrell Reed at the last moment. So we'll keep an eye on Burnett when the Chargers come out on D. The offense will start with Rivers under center at his own 24. Tomlinson first run. Dawkins to tackle. Gain of 3. 2nd and 7. Rivers first attempt. High and incomplete. Covered well in the secondary by the Denver defense. Sproles, the running back, 3rd and 7. Pressure by Darrell Reed forces Rivers to throw it away and incomplete. No receiver, but he was out of the tackle box. Dawkins brought the pressure as well. 4th down.
Well, it's that creep defense where these Denver Broncos, they line up all over the place. Phillip Rivers, they don't get any declaration as to who's responsible for who. A little confusion early in the football game. There's another unblocked Bronco and a 3-and-out. That's good news for the Bronco defense.
Yeah, Darrell Reed unblocked at overload blitz. Very effective, John.
Terrific punter, Mike Cyphers. Not his best kick at all, but it bounces to the 25 where Eddie Royal gets it and goes nowhere. Brandon Seiler with the tackle. And the Broncos will take over after a 47-yard net on the punt. Here's Kyle Orton, 5th year out of Purdue, and last week against the Patriots in the overtime win. Best game he's had in the NFL. Was named Player of the Week in the AFC for his efforts. He's a guy who played in Chicago as a rookie, has come in and been a good fit to this system.
Mike, and his passing game's a little different than what you look at Phillip Rivers in San Diego. They're down the field in San Diego. In Denver, it's a short passing game. They like to get the long run with the short pass.
Play action to Noshawn Moreno. Orton throws it away. Everybody covered downfield. Over the head of an intended receiver. 2nd and 10. A run to the right. Noshawn Moreno. About 6. Orton 3rd down throw. Marshall the catch. 1st down Denver.
Well, that's a maximum protection early in the game. You see the Denver Broncos line up all 3 receivers to the left. They keep the tight end in. Moreno in to block. And Orton just makes a nice high percentage decision to that guy Marshall, and nobody runs better after the catch than Brandon Marshall.
Well, John, Antonio Cromartie's got to make that tackle. That ball was caught a yard short of the 1st down. You got to come up and strike. He did not.
Out of the gun, Orton walks into a sack by Larry English. 1st-round pick out of Northern Illinois.
That's another one of A.J. Smith, general manager's high draft choices. English, who comes in here as a converted defensive lineman. He gets off the ball. He's rushing against an outstanding tackle in Ryan Clady. Clady might have got away from a hold there, but just a great second effort play by Larry English.
But the sack is on Kyle Orton. He had time to get rid of the football. If you don't have it downfield, check it down. That sack is on the quarterback, holding on to the football.
2nd and 12. They show the motion of Marshall. Screen to Buckhalter. And the veteran, former Eagle, pounds for some hard yards. Give him about 9. We got 3rd and 3 coming up. Burnett in there on the tackle. He was the guy hurt on the kickoff.
Josh McDaniels' offense has a lot of running backs that can catch the football. Moreno can catch it. Here's a guy, Buckhalter, who's an outstanding receiver. And Josh McDaniel uses his backs in this pass offense here in Denver.
Whistle blows, stopping play for a second. Larry English, who had that sack a play ago, was slow to get up. So the training staff has to come get him for a play. That sack by English was the 2nd that he's had in his rookie season. 1 in their last game 2 weeks ago at Pittsburgh.
And Josh McDaniels comes over from the New England Patriots, a very good screen team. You will see a screen game that is very effective for the Denver Broncos. They have a very athletic offensive line that can get it out in front of the running back, and they have a backfield tandem with Buckhalter and Moreno in space. They're pretty good.
Moreno's the back, 3rd and 3. Pressure up the middle. They get it to Moreno. Could not make the open field miss. Come from Ian Scott, and we'll have 4th down, or Burnett, I should say. We have 4th down coming up.
Well, you're going to see pressure coming up the middle tonight from Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator. They don't account for it. The ball's got to come out quickly. That's a huge stop for the San Diego defense. They needed that to get some confidence coming off this bye week. They've been dogged in the media, and that's huge for them in this football game.
They were dead last, 49% converted against that defense. That's a big stop, as you said, John.
Brett Kern punts for Denver. To Sproles. Fair catch of a 43-yard kick. There's a marker down on the far side of the field. And we'll check it with Scott Green, our referee here tonight.
Holding, receiving team, number 23, during the kick, half the distance to the goal, 1st down, timeout.
Tomlinson's the back on 1st and 10. From his own end zone, Rivers, complete. Malcolm Floyd, the 1st down in front of Andre Goodman at the 24.
What an outstanding job by the Chargers offensive line and the backs. Brian Dawkins came on a corner cat. Notice he lined up over the wide receiver and he came off the corner. Really nice job of picking up. You'll see Brian here. Now he attacks off that edge. That's that corner cat. Well done. Picked up beautifully in the backfield by Mike Tolbert. An outstanding throw from Phillip Rivers.
After a gain of 18. Andre Davis's blitz was picked up. Rivers down the middle. In and out of the hands of Vincent Jackson. Champ Bailey. Pro Bowler 8 times made the play. An all-time high against Denver. Legadou Nene is the man in the slot. Here's LT. Can't get there, just a couple of yards. Ryan McBean on the defensive line made the stop. Hey, Jaws, you talked about this when we were discussing Rivers' success against the Broncos. Sometimes there are teams that you just feel better going against.
Yeah, there are some teams, Mike, and I can't give you a real valid explanation why. You see the schedule, you look and say, boy, there's a team I just play well against. I know Phillip Rivers, we spoke to him the other day at Watchman practice. You know, he had to giddy up in his step. He likes playing against the Denver Broncos because he's always played well against them.
It's a different Denver defense, though. Much improved this year.
A lot less predictability.
They call the zero coverage.
And it's Malcolm Floyd beating it. Tripped up, or else he could have gone a long way to the 45. And a 20, 1st down.
That's a great play by Phillip Rivers. It's not often that you get an all-out blitz early in the 1st quarter. They're bringing everybody. This is all they have in Denver. They're going to be one short. There's that guy, Malcolm Floyd. They call him M80 because he can explode in your face if you're not careful. That's almost a house call. Great job by the Charger offense and quarterback Phillip Rivers.
Gains of 18 and 20 for Floyd. Rivers just shovels it with two hands to LT, who's got room. Tomlinson to the 30, 25 on that play.
Sometimes you just have to make a play. It may not be pretty. Phillip Rivers outstanding in the pocket. Bodies around him. They don't bother him. Focal point downfield. Find somebody. Know where your check down is. It's a Bob Cousy chest pass to LaDainian Tomlinson.
And this is a blitz fest. The Broncos have blitzed 7 out of the first 8 plays, and they're blitzing from everywhere in their nickel defense and in their base.
And with bodies around him, there's no better quarterback in the league than Phillip Rivers. In contact with him, his quarterback rating is 110, by far the best.
First down. Rivers looking end zone, covered. Scrambling, directing, located. Floyd again. Gain of 13 for Floyd in the first down.
You know, this Phillip Rivers, they'd say he talks a lot of trash. He's a fiery guy. It's well documented. He got fined $7,500 for talking trash with a Raider defensive lineman. Last year when he played against us, I was down in Tampa, Jaws. He threw a touchdown pass on our sideline. He started talking that trash. One of our coaches got back at him. I said, don't make him mad because he might shred us. Leave him alone. This guy's a great competitor. He's off to a heck of a start.
Guys, I just saw Brian Dawkins come off the field with the training staff. You see him looking at his left leg. Halfway through the quarter, Tomlinson up the middle. First and goal, San Diego. A drive that started at the 6 is now at the 4.
That's what the San Diego Chargers need to do. Get LaDainian Tomlinson going. Get the running game going. They came into this game dead last. Here's the power. Excellent job by Vasquez coming around with the kick-out block, giving LaDainian a little room. There's the quickness. There's that jump cut we'd love to see on LaDainian. I'll tell you, that week off, they've got that freshness back and that quickness back.
People say, what's wrong with the running game? There's a big reason why they haven't had this cat for a couple weeks.
For the 4, Tomlinson. It'll be stopped for a loss. Andre Davis atop the pile. And at the bottom, it was Denver's Ronaldo Hill, the safety partner with Brian Dawkins, who came out 2 snaps ago. Eventually turned 36 on Tuesday. You'll see no contact as he's back there covering his half of the field. Going after Vincent Jackson, just grabs to that left hamstring. So Dawkins on the sideline, and Darcel McBath, rookie, is now in Mike Nolan's defense. Nolan, the defensive coordinator, former coach at San Francisco for 4 years, head coach. Second and goal, Tomlinson up the middle to the 2.
This is an area that the San Diego Chargers uncharacteristically have struggled, scoring touchdowns in the red zone. That guy, Norv Turner, is one of the best offensive minds in football. They have got to get touchdowns when they're down here this tight, Jaws, and they haven't done that this year.
Yeah, they ran a little trap inside. They went behind their all-pro left guard, Chris Dielman, ran a little trap inside, tried to get LaDainian in the end zone, but an outstanding job by the Broncos' stout defensive line.
Down here at the 2, they'll go with their heavy personnel and put Chris Wilson, the tight end, at a fullback spot. And Denver not ready for the personnel the Chargers brought in. Josh McDaniels takes his first time out. Back at Qualcomm Stadium, sellout crowd here, seeing if their Chargers can get to 3-2, can get this touchdown. They continue to look at Brian Dawkins on one sideline. Ball at the 2, and LT, very productive touchdown man, is out. Darren Sproles in. And running. And the little guy, Sproles, is stopped up. Nowhere to go. No gain. And 4th down. We'll see what Norv Turner does.
Well, you got to kick the field goal.
Yep, there you go. Interesting to see LT on the sideline on 3rd and goal.
Well, I think the plan was spread them out and get one of those quick hitters in there, but it certainly didn't fool the Denver Broncos defense. They sealed the inside. You'll see right here, there's 4 down linemen. They win the line of scrimmage. No seam for Darren Sproles to find, and then they close it down from the edge.
I'm going to tell you something. LT is annoyed. He is not happy. He wanted to be in there. You usually don't see him that angry and upset walking away from the team. Nate Kading from 20 yards. And the first points of the night belong to the Chargers. 10 plays, 92 yards. All right, before the San Diego kickoff, Michelle Tafoya is on the Broncos sideline watching Brian Dawkins.
Yeah, I'm told, Mike, that it's a left hamstring and his return is questionable. They're working with him quite a bit, but questionable at this point, Mike.
Okay, Michelle, thanks for keeping an eye on that. Important in Josh McDaniels' defense. Hayden kicks to Eddie Royal from the 6. Hit it hard on the left side, and Royal, a great block on the kicker, sends Royal all the way. 93-yard Bronco touchdown.
Well, a lot of people don't understand Eddie Royal, Jaws. Not only is he a guy that can catch 90 passes for you, he's a guy that can dominate in the kick return game. Take a look at him, set up his blocks. He goes right down the number, and when he finds that gear, he is gone. What a tremendous play by the special teams of the Denver Broncos, and Josh McDaniels told us he was not pleased with his special teams this first quarter of the season, and he challenged them, and they're up to the task tonight.
What a block by McBath, the safety who's playing for Dawkins as well. Extra point for Matt Prater. Prater with the kickoff. And Sproles will try to respond to Royal from the 5. Got a couple of good blocks. Sproles spilled at the 26-yard line. Peyton Hillis, backup running back, made the tackle. Well, you talk about the emotion of the teams as this game got started, and then the emotion of the head coaches. And we often say teams play with their coaches' emotion. We saw that with your guys. And, Jaws, we're starting to see that from this Denver team.
No question about it. Like I said, football is a game of emotion. They buy into that. Players love to see a coach that's fired, not only on the field, but in the meeting room and the practice field. And that's Josh McDaniels.
And he's showing it right throughout here from the start of his season. Josh McDaniels, one of the youngest coaches in the National Football League. He's the second youngest at 33. Tomlinson on the screen. Gets right to the first down mark at the 36-yard line and picks up Champ Bailey along the way.
You know, one thing about Norv Turner is he's got a lot of different kind of screens in every game plan. Here's Tomlinson coming out to his right. You see him bluff the blitz. He catches the ball, and he gets outside the numbers, which isn't where you want to be. But, boy, you want to get the ball in that guy's hands. And this guy, Norv Turner, he carries more screenplays in game plans than most of us do combined, guys. This guy's a tremendous perimeter coach.
You mentioned that to us. He carries for double what most people carry into a game in terms of screens. What does a screen do for a team?
Well, the thing he likes about running screens is he really feels like the only way you can stop their screens is by playing man-to-man coverage, because he thinks he can beat zones with his screens. And once you start playing man-to-man to stop his screen game, boy, he looks for Vincent Jackson and Gates and his friends.
But also, when you play man-to-man in the screen game, if you block the defender that has the responsibility for the screen, that's when you get the big explosive plays out of the screen game. The dual-edged sword.
You guys saw just a hair short of the first down, so one of those nice play calling downs, 2nd and inches. Chargers beat Oakland on the opening Monday night, and Miami by 10. Jacob Hester the carry, his 2nd of the year. From the 36, Rivers floats it out complete to Vincent Jackson. Yard shy of the first down. McBath and Hagan on the tackle.
First down pass, and you're going to get a base coverage and a base front. Here's the isolation on Vincent Jackson, matched up against Champ Bailey. Does a nice job of pushing to the outside. You see the timing of Phillip Rivers. The minute Jackson turned around, ball was on him.
Mike Tolbert is that fullback in the offset eye on 2nd and a yard and a half. Tomlinson. Oh, thought he could get a little bit more out of that. Ronaldo Fields just helped trip him up, or LT could have gone a ways longer.
Well, that's a staple play in the San Diego Charger offense. Power play. You're going to have a Pro Bowl left guard, and you're going to pull him to the point of attack. Watch the fullback get the kick out. Good adjustment on the edge by Dielman, and that play is getting close, guys, to coming out. but that is a play San Diego runs in their sleep. Power to the right and to the left behind their Pro Bowlers.
LT limped a little bit on his way over to the sideline. Of course, he had those foot problems last year, ankle problems, missing games 2 and 3 of the season. Rivers shoots it out to Gates. A lot of room for Antonio, who fumbles it out of bounds. Right, that's Tolbert. Excuse me, the fullback, Mike Tolbert, fumbles it out of bounds at the 28, and a gain of 22 for the second-year man.
Excellent job by Phillip Rivers. They came with the motion of Sproles out wide. That gave him a definitive look of what the defense was. They manned it up, and they lost Tolbert coming out of the backfield. And recognition by Phillip Rivers was outstanding. He found Tolbert. But I love the design of the play. They spread that defense out, checked at the line of scrimmage, and got the ball down to Tolbert.
Broncos only have 1 first down, but they're the team leading. Rivers down the middle. That's Gates. First and goal again for the Chargers at the 7.
Well, I'll say it a lot tonight. Under duress, I don't know if there's a better quarterback in the National Football League than Phillip Rivers. Bodies around him, being banged around. He finds a way to get the football to Antonio Gates. He'll hold on it. There's that little jerk route, John, that you love to call, and toss that ball out there. It's a basketball catch by Antonio Gates, and we know he played a little hoop in his day, but Phillip Rivers, what a great job of getting the ball out with bodies around him and beating them up.
Got a lot of weapons here, Jaws.
Yeah.
Now the problems in the red zone. Can they bang it in? LT running hard, gets to the 3. McBath to tackle as Dawkins continues to wait on the sideline.
I think you'll see a heavy dose of LT right here. I really do.
Well, this is a zone cutback. Chris Wilson does a nice job of pinning the backside, and LT bounces it, and he is fighting tonight. He looks a lot better than he has in recent weeks. That's a great sign for the Chargers, getting this guy back as a key component in their offense.
4 defensive subs for the Broncos as the Chargers spread him out. Nene in motion. Rivers, back of the end zone, touchdown, Vincent Jackson.
I'll be shocked if the Chargers really don't start heating it up in the red zone. They bring 4 receivers out to one side, and when you have a 6'5" Vincent Jackson working that back line, Phillip Rivers does a great job of seeing it.
Yeah, 6'5" against Jack Williams, number 26, who's 5'9". But there were a couple receivers open on that play. Well executed by the San Diego Chargers.
8 plays and 74 yards. Back into the first quarter. 5-0 Broncos. Trailing the Chargers 10-7. Rivers perfect on the drive, and as Jaws alluded to, hanging in there for a couple of hits. Brian Dawkins injured. Frustrated. You can see how frustrated he is not to be a part of it. But he was trying to fire up the defense while we were away. Royal took it all the way back last time. Not this time. Paul Oliver. DB makes the tackle as the quarter comes to an end. Never had a first quarter in passing yards like that. Woo. 139 on 3 drives.
There were games some guys wish they had that many.
Broncos take over from their own 22. Mike Tirico, John Gruden, Ron Jaworski, Michelle Tafoya with you here in San Diego. Buckhalter the run, and Carell gets 3 on first down. 2nd and 7. Buckhalter spun around by the safety Weddle. Got out the back door, and Jammer makes the tackle.
Well, there's that guy, Quentin Jammer. I heard somebody early talking about him not tackling last week. Quentin Jammer's an outstanding football player. Watch this. Weddle misses the tackle on an open side blitz. Moreno keeps it alive, but out of nowhere, There's Quentin Jammer, Mr. Consistency right there.
All right, they've had an attitude adjustment. That's what Ron Rivera, the defense coordinator, said. Attitude adjustment. It paid off.
Third and 7. Time for Orton. Buckhalter got there. First down, 36-yard line. Weddle makes the tackle in the secondary. Terrell Buckhalter, guy who spent his first 8 years with the Eagles. Remember, he missed 3 different seasons with knee injuries.
Well, there's Merriman getting a good look. You're going to see him get doubled right there. There's just not been a consistent pass rush here in San Diego. And when you let a sharp guy like Kyle Orton survey the field, he's going to find that second and third option. That's an excellent job pass protecting by the Denver Broncos.
Sean Moreno, the rookie running back. To the 30, Steve Gregory made the tackle.
You know, the San Diego Chargers are playing this game without their great nose guard, Jamal Williams. And when you run a 34 defense, I don't care who you are. If you don't have that physical presence inside, you're going to struggle. And they miss this guy, Jamal Williams, because for 12 or 13 years, he's been at the top of the game.
Williams, torn triceps injury, out for the season. That ball to Moreno. Let's see if it's going to be ruled an incomplete pass or backwards. Meantime, one of the officials was hit on the play, and he's shaken up to the umpire. That ball is going to be, let's see, I believe it's going to be marked backwards. Want to double check that. Most importantly, the health of the official. He's all right, and it will be marked as a backwards, an incomplete pass. Okay, incomplete pass, so it's third down.
Brings up 3rd and 6.
They want to give that umpire a helmet. Okay, they're in a lot of activity right in the middle left field.
Well, they have talked about that for a couple of years. They've even experimented with the umpire on the other side, behind the quarterback in the offense. But those are the tough officials. They love being in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah. There's that creep by the Chargers, moving everybody around, trying to confuse Orton in the blocking schemes of the Broncos.
Good time for Orton. Down the middle. It is caught by Jabbar Gaffney. One of the expats, former Patriots who've come to Denver with Josh McDaniels.
They showed the blitz, they showed the creep, and he eventually came with a 3-man rush and got 0 pressure on Kyle Orton. He had all kinds of time to look down the field.
Well, take a look at it. There's Merriman and English, 2 first-rounders coming together off the corner. It's a great pickup by Denver. Kyle Orton has all day back here. That's a problem for San Diego right now.
Toss Moreno to the right. O'Shawn hit hard at the 30, but went through that tackle by Stephen Cooper to get a couple of yards. O'Shawn Moreno, rookie out of Georgia, top rookie rusher in the early portion of this season. You know a guy's for real, John, when he gains over 100 yards per game in the SEC. That's what Moreno did at Georgia.
This guy's come in here. He led the league with, in terms of rookies, 337 yards already. He's an outstanding receiver, and Coach McDaniels loves this guy's leadership and pizzazz. He loves football, this guy.
And he stays in on 3rd down because he can pick up the blitz. Also very important. Not many rookies do that.
Here he comes to the left. Patient found a little opening there to gain a couple of yards. 3rd and a couple. Moreno is that back and running where Merriman was. First down.
The San Diego Chargers can't get off the field on 3rd down. They came into this game dead last of getting off the field on 3rd down. 49% conversion. They're struggling right now getting off the field.
It goes back to the loss of Jamal Williams. You just don't lose a 6-7-time Pro Bowler and replace him easily. Ian Scott was just re-signed. They're finding guys that are working at a rental car that come in here and play nose, and it's tough on San Diego.
You're not joking. You're speaking of Ogemdi Nwabo, who's played a lot. He was summer jobbing at the Enterprise Rent-A-Car in San Diego. Up the middle run with Buckhalter, 4 yards. We should tell that story really quickly. Nuabo, Jacques Césaire made that tackle. Nuabo, who came in for Williams and played the most of those last couple of games on the nose. He made the team at the end of last year, practice squad guy working out in the offseason training activities. Didn't know if he was going to make the team. So a newly hired assistant coach goes to rent a car because you have to come over to San Diego from another team. Don't have all your stuff with you. He goes to Enterprise Rent a Car. He sees this guy. He goes, wait a minute, aren't you on our team? Oh, Nuabo kept the job. He wasn't sure he was going to keep this job with the Chargers. He has. That's Buckhalter, the running back, motioning from the top. And there was movement on the offensive line of the Broncos.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
But if you want to rush the passer, if you want to see Merriman and English and Phillips, all these outside edge presence rushers get after it, you have got to be able to stop the run. And that's not been what they've done this year consistently. And consequently, they've seen a lot of 2nd and 2s and 3s. And there haven't been a lot of really good situations for the Chargers to rush. And that's uncommon for this outfit.
Well, they got him in that situation now with 2nd and 14. They should be able to kick their heels back and get after Orton.
They bring 5. Orton throws to Tony Scheffler, his tight end, who so often splits out there like a wide receiver and gets some of the penalty yardage back.
Yeah, Scheffler has wide receiver skills in him. When you put him out wide and you can get him matched up against possibly a linebacker or even a safety, and here you'll see him matched against Kevin Ellison out there, who's a safety and a guy that's a rookie. So you're going to get Scheffler matched against a rookie. Hey, work on him.
Broncos have converted 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. Now they go for the straight. Tough to catch from Marshall. Covered by Steve Gregory. A late marker down, and then Marshall picked the ball. I think there was going to be a penalty on Gregory, but then the move by Marshall is going to cost his team.
Well, there's going to be a huddle on this one.
The Marshall foul happens after the ball is dead and the play is dead. Certainly delay of game at the least, unsportsmanlike conduct at the worst. The flag on Gregory, if it was on Steve, comes in late. But he was there a second early.
Yeah, you're going to get pass interference there.
Gregory's in that spot where Clinton Hart, the safety, was waived.
6 officials together. Boy, that used to make me nervous.
And the long discussion is because, not to make Josh McDaniels nervous, John, but because they're trying to determine, okay, was the play dead? Is it a foul after the play is over? Meaning, does one foul on Gregory give you a first down, and then the other penalty take you back on Marshall? Here's the Marshall kick of the ball.
Well, that's unsportsmanlike conduct, and that's a delay of game penalty. And whether you get the call or not, you got to keep your cool, Jaws.
Okay, there are 2 fouls on the play that will offset. Interference, defense, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense. Those penalties will offset. We'll replay.
And Josh McDaniels was just getting an explanation why it wasn't an after the play was over foul. And Brandon Marshall makes that play. And that, guys, is something we talked about with Brandon Marshall, who has a quick trigger, has made silly plays and mistakes like that can cost your team. And he's had other questionable decisions off the field involved with legal situations. What he did at practice earlier this summer, his petulance at practice, unhappy with a meeting he had. So Marshall is still fighting the fight to try to rein in his emotions.
Stay focused when you're between the white lines. Stay focused. He was not.
But after all that, it's still 3rd and 8. And the throw is incomplete for Royal. Field goal attempt coming for Denver.
Good coverage by Kevin Burnett. Had him on the inside. Didn't give much room for Kyle Orton to squeeze that throw in. As Orton's staring it down. you'll see the throw. But Burnett on the inside, forced to throw to the outside. Eddie Royal could not make the catch. And that time, John, Chargers came with a little heat.
Lonnie Paxton snaps. Brett Kern holds. Prater tries from 34. People like Jack Kemp and John Hadel, the quarterbacks, Lance Allworth, the wide receiver, all products of the great Sid Gilman offensive system. Impact still felt around the National Football League 5 decades later. Sproles runs up for a short kickoff. Darren with a good move on the sidelines, and he's brought down across the 30 by David Groot. Entertaining game with the Broncos and Chargers wearing their uniforms from when the AFL was founded, 1960. 10-10, about halfway through the second, as Rivers and the Chargers take over. Tomlinson to the right. No gain. Rivers, nowhere to go. Protects it, becomes a runner. Just gives himself up after a short game. How about the Polish rifle there? The vintage colorized video, huh?
Nice, you talk about Sid Gilman. You're talking about a guy who's had a lot of hands in a lot of football. I mean, it's chilling to think that you played for him. You didn't have to wear those shorts last night to Fleming's. Sid Gilman,
hey, we got a free dinner.
What a football coach. Had a chance to meet Don Coryell a couple nights ago. All the people that Sid Gilman has touched in this business, it's amazing.
Yeah, Dick Vermeil, you know, brought me to Philadelphia along with Sid Gilman. Boy, I learned not only how to throw the football, but I learned about the passing game. You know, outstanding individuals that really understood what it took to be successful.
Pressure was picked up the first time, but not Andre Goodman. Coming a little bit later on the blitz. They continue to heat up Rivers, and they finally get to him, forcing a 3-and-out. Without Dawkins, who's being the best cheerleader for the Broncos.
Oh, the Denver Broncos have a veteran secondary. All these guys know how to play, and there's a very good play by Andre Goodman, who key blitzed. The back blocked, and Goodman saw him block, and he decided to rush, and he got there with a big sack.
Cyphers, again, not a great kick. Usually kicks it deeper. Royal took it on a bounce and has the sideline. A kickoff return already tonight. And Eddie Royal has a punt return for a touchdown. Wow. So much for the Denver special teams, which struggled against New England last week. A 71-yard punt return for touchdown.
Again, the low kick, and it really allowed Eddie Royal to get a good look right there where the defenders were coming from. Then the wall was set up down the left side of the field, and Eddie Royal just exploded through. But it was a low kick by Cyphers that allowed that wall to set up, and Eddie Royal saw it, got to it, and a nice cutback right there. And then he saw the goalpost.
This guy scored on 2 long returns and hadn't been touched yet.
Outstanding blocking by the Denver Broncos.
Matt Prater adds the extra point. Of course, the news today, Jim Zorn, the head coach, has the play calling responsibilities taken away. Sherm Lewis, who was retired a few weeks ago and ready to call bingo at a seniors activity center in Detroit, will be calling plays on Monday night. No joke, it's a true story.
I wasn't laughing. That's a tough job.
Bingo? Yeah. I-9. Sproles. Stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. He's an electric returner, but the bolts in the return game have come from Eddie Royal here tonight. Back in San Diego, 17-10. The Broncos have a kickoff return and a punt return for their 2 touchdowns. Jack Williams, the backup cornerback, was injured on that kickoff return. He was helped to the sideline. Brian Dawkins, the safety, already out with a hamstring injury. There's a run by Tomlinson up the middle. DJ Williams, the tackle, the gain of about 4 yards. Josh McDaniels getting the play out of his special teams. Part of the plan as the week comes in.
I really like this guy's plan. He's going to find a way to beat you with his offense, with his defense. And this week it's his special teams. I know he got with Mike Prefer, the special teams coach. They found a weakness and they've exploited it, and it has paid huge dividends. That's a meticulous coach.
LT seeking space to the right. Garcelle McBath is in there for Dawkins, makes the tackle, gain of about 3.
You watch LT, he's very close. He's very close to breaking one of these. You know, I don't know if it's just maybe he's lost a little bit of the quickness, a little bit of the edge, but they're getting to that second level of defense now. He's getting close to breaking one. They got to stay with him. He's coming off the field now. But boy, he's starting to get that motor running.
These are 3rd and 3 situations where Norv Turner loves to take shots.
Empty out the backfield by moving Sproles. Against a twisting 4-man rush, Rivers has Gates. First down to the 46-yard line. Big gain of 18 for the tight end.
You know, San Diego can spread you out with 5 receivers all over the football field, and they have so much skill. And sooner or later, you forget about all the routes that Antonio Gates can run. This is 6'5", 260 pounds. He runs like a little wide receiver, but he is so powerful. What a gifted athlete Antonio Gates is.
Back in Bronco territory, Rivers well protected. A lot of room for Gates. Great move in the open field around Champ Bailey to the 30-yard line. First down, gain of 17. Broncos shaken up behind the play.
Well, take a look at this screenplay right here, Jaws. This is
You
one
love it.
you used to love this.
Yeah.
Watch the quarterback. He's going to sprint all the way out here to his right, and they're going to throw the ball back to Antonio Gates on a delay screen. The flow goes one way, Gates goes the other way. And look at this guy move in the open field. That's Champ Bailey, by the way. This guy is one heck of a player.
Yeah, we've seen this screen run the last couple Monday night games, but the tight end has not gotten out. Gates got out.
Man in pain is Mario Hagan, the linebacker for the Broncos. They'll look at him. As they do that, we'll check out. Back in San Diego, Mario Hagan, starting outside linebacker, 7 years in the league, was helped off the field by what has been an unfortunately busy Broncos training staff here tonight. Earlier, Brian Dawkins, the safety, was hurt in the first quarter. Maybe it's part of the reason Rivers is rolling. Phillips hit 10 in a row. From the 31, pressure again. Rivers, deep ball. Incomplete. He was trying to get Chris Chambers. Andre Goodman had the coverage.
Well, you could see that coming all the way. Phillip Rivers knew it was bump and run man-to-man. You could see him signaling out there to Chris Chambers, let's take a shot. There it is, Phillip Rivers. There's the hand signal. We'll have to change that one next week.
Right.
Phillip Rivers is going upstairs right now. He sees press coverage. He goes right to one of his favorite receivers against Andre Goodman, just out overthrown a little bit.
And Chris Chambers has been struggling this year. He's been targeted 22 times, only 6 complete to him.
Tomlinson cut it back into the middle. Waiting there was Elvis Dumerville, who's made the move from a down lineman, undersized too at that. Lost 10 pounds, moved to a linebacker spot, hands still on the ground and rushing in those pass situations.
Yeah, and to see number 92 Dumerville come across the formation. And Mike Nolan does a great job with Dumerville. They move him around, and in the passing situations, they try to get him free. But in the running game, he has a really good nose for the football.
Tomlinson, 11 carries, 39 yards on the night. Rivers got the protection right. Flag down as that pass is dropped by Gates and incomplete. I think we had a hand coming up toward the face of one of those players rushing for Denver. Nice rush by Robert Ayers, the first-round pick.
Holding. Offense, number 65. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
one thing Mike Nolan does. He substitutes a lot, and his nickel pass rush is pretty good. Guys like Robert Ayers, the rookie out of Tennessee. They bring in Vonnie Holliday, who's given them a lot of rush. Elvis Dumerville. They've added a lot of players, and on third down passing situations, they use them.
Well, Nate Kading made his first field goal. As you look at Mike Nolan, the defensive coordinator, he's got a long one coming up here from 44 yards. If he makes this, he'll become the best accuracy guy in the NFL. History of the league, past Mike Vanderjagt. And he does that by making his first 2 field goals here tonight. And the Chargers cut the deficit to 4. 17-13. Norv Turner's been doing this for a while. Josh McDaniels, in his very first year as a head coach, is 33 years old. There's young Josh McDaniels. Talk about someone who was born for the position. Tom McDaniels, his dad, Canton McKinley High School, great high school in Ohio, where Josh played for his dad, then went on to the NFL and assisted for Bill Belichick, I should say, the 3 Super Bowls, and then getting this head coaching opportunity, one of the youngest to get a head coaching opportunity, second youngest in the NFL. And John, you were a young coach. Is there, I guess, something that wears on you when that age is the first thing brought up? Hey, by the way, you know, you're only 33, 34 years old.
Well, it's easy to talk about it like that, but this guy was a young position coach, a young quarterback coach, and a young world champion with the New England Patriots. He has had a great training ground with Bill Belichick. He is far and beyond his years. But I think the pro football players, they want to know if you can help them. And clearly they believe in this guy, Josh McDaniels. He's surrounded himself with a great staff. He's got a tremendous future.
He's got a tremendous present right now. Yeah, undefeated.
And a darn good kick returner in Eddie Royal, who moved into some rare air in the NFL with his return tonight. So Royal becomes the 11th player in league history with both a punt and a kickoff return for touchdown in a game. And the Denver fans remember the last time it happened. Devin Hester of the Bears on a cold November day did it to the Broncos. First down run by Noshawn Moreno will get us to the 2-minute warning. The Broncos, who really struggled in their AFL days in the 60s, go into these uniforms that they had just for 2 years in 1960 and 61.
I don't understand it. Those are the ugliest socks I have seen.
Oh, come on, man.
They look like the shoes are running.
They look cool.
Yeah, John's wore throwback shoes tonight to match the socks. Unfortunately, nobody's seeing them. He didn't know that.
Oh, no, they loved it when I walked in here.
Ball called to the carry for 1.5 yards. Sean Phillips in there on the tackle. Having said that, the Chargers, as many people have said, the Charger first uniforms are the best.
Spectacular.
They are nice. This is a big third down right here. San Diego gets off the field here. They give Rivers a chance to come back out there with this explosive offense.
Third and 4. The Chargers have 3 timeouts. Orton loads up. Knew that was covered. Threw it incomplete. And they'll punt it away, so they'll have 80 seconds in that full complement of timeouts to do work.
Quentin Jammer did a great job in coverage. He played the sticks. The minute he saw Jabbar Gaffney sit down, he sat on the route and forced a high throw from Kyle Orton. You'll see it right here. Jammer in his face. Now, he read the sticks. He sits down, plays the route. Orton sees it. He knows he's driving that route. Aaron throw high. Good job by Quentin Jammer.
And this guy Sproles is capable of going house to house here himself. Yeah. This guy's dangerous.
Brett Kern turned it over. 47 on the punt. Down the sideline, Sproles. He's got a chance to cut it back. How about 3 returns and a half? Touchdown, San Diego.
How about John Gruden calling it, Mike?
Personally would have nothing to do with kicking the ball to Darren Sproles. That guy is ultra quick. He's an amazing kick returner, and obviously he has just exploded here in San Diego. The crowd loves him.
So much for that star on the special teams page for Denver. 77 on the return for Sproles. Chargers lead by 3.
Once again, we're seeing outstanding execution. No one, oh, right there, that's about the only player that laid a hand on him. We've had 3 kick returns, and there have been excellent blocking. Tolbert does a terrific job. He's number 35. You'll see right there, look at that kick-out block right there. There is no way, when you're on the ground, as Kern is right there, you're not making a play. Tolbert with an excellent block. Wow, 3 kick returns.
I like Steve Crosby, the special teams coach of the Chargers. He's coached a long time. He has 2 returns go against him. I guarantee he called his guys up and says, man, you owe me one. And we got the guy that can do it. This guy, Sproles, is a lightning in a bottle kind of guy. Second in the NFL in all-purpose yardage, and he's going up the charts again.
Second career punt return. Also has a kickoff return for a touchdown. Remember, I talked about Royal becoming the 11th guy to have a kickoff and a punt return in the same game for a touchdown. One of the 11 is Sproles, who did it on a Sunday night here in that same 07 season that we talked about earlier.
That's why they franchised that guy, Mike. Yeah. $6.6 million franchise back. LT. Remember, they had Michael Turner here, who's one of the best players in the NFC now.
Remember, Sproles did that in the same quarter. Kick return to punt return for touchdown. Alfonso Smith goes back for the kickoff. Well, it's like an old AFL game, boys.
Wow,
This is up and down the field.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Mike. High scoring.
Maybe one of those last team with the ball wins nights. Alfonso Smith from the 5. We cut it back to the left. It goes down to the 23s. After the game's 4th lead change, the Broncos have 2 timeouts. Buckhalter. Tackle by Weddle at the 27.
Well, Denver's played this very conservatively these last 2 two-minute drives. They start here with the screen. It's well read by Weddle.
And Weddle with a terrific open field tackle. There was a little space.
Orton eludes the rush of Alfonso Boone, goes out of bounds. Orton, the gain of 1.
Mike, Orton is very careful with the football. He doesn't make many mistakes. He's thrown 1 interception all season long, and it was a Hail Mary before the first half of the New England game where Randy Moss intercepted. He doesn't take a lot of risk.
It's one of those things where, as you were alluding to, John, you're kind of partially in the 2-minute, and he goes out of bounds. That helps the Chargers, because if the Chargers get a stop here, they have timeouts, all 3, and they can take another shot or 2 at scoring. The pressure's picked up. Orton's pass is deflected, but caught. Stokely was pulled down from behind, and a horse collar flag comes in. It's late, but it's correct. It's going to take the ball to midfield, and the Broncos take a timeout.
A gain of 8.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle, defense, 15 yards from the end of the play, first down.
Accurately called from the official on the far side on Larry English, the rookie. And now all of a sudden the Broncos are thinking 2 timeouts, 19 seconds, and maybe we can get a field goal attempt or more.
Yeah, they probably let a few ticks go off the clock there. I think Kyle Orton's got to be quicker once he saw that catch to call timeout. They had all 3 remaining at that time. Now they're down to 2, but call it quickly. You know, a second or 2 is just so valuable in this situation.
Didn't have to use that timeout because of the penalty, so still 19 seconds. Orton throws, good. Go up and get it for Stokely. Now they take the timeout, and Orton's running up to the official to get it with 11 seconds to go. Stokely, who has been quiet the last 3 games, 2 big catches.
Well, Orton has a lot more mobility than people think. And remember, he's an experienced quarterback. But he does keep plays alive. When nothing's there, he finds a way to make a positive play happen. And he never turns the ball over. He's very careful with the football. And that's been a key to his success in his brief career, Jaws.
You know, he's not a guy that's going to chuck it down the field 30 and 40 yards. In fact, you know, last week against New England, he threw 50 balls. only 8 of them went more than 10 yards to the line of scrimmage. You know, he's more of a keep your offense on schedule quarterback. But he does have Brandon Marshall. In these situations, this is the guy you look for. He's the beast at 6'4", 230.
From here, a field goal's 58 yards. They probably need about 8 or 10. Orton looking for Gaffney, who's looking for a flag. But Antonio Cromartie with the breakup. 6 seconds left. You can squeeze one more play in quickly.
Oh, yeah, the Chargers have Antonio Cromartie. Remember him, Jaws? Right here, watch him break down, see the ball leave Orton's hands, and he uses his long limbs to bat it down. That guy, Antonio Cromartie, Pro Bowl corner 2 years ago, hip injuries last year. They need that guy to explode back on the scene.
It's interesting, guys. 6 seconds left, so that's to be something quick. Try to get the timeout and get the field goal. Prater has 50-plus yard range. Orton's just running up the middle, gets to about the 36, and the timeout is taken with 3 seconds left. Now, Prater, their kicker, has hit 5 50-plus yard field goals, and you always have to go a little deeper in the numbers when it's Denver kicking at altitude. He has made a couple in Kansas City, so he has 50-plus yard range outside of 5,280 feet of altitude.
You know, but Prater's field goal accuracy is not very good. He hasn't been very accurate in his career, as you know. And he's succeeding the guy, Jason Elam. I remember he never missed. I think he went 100% every year, didn't he?
It felt like it.
How about Josh McDaniels? You know, here's a young, inexperienced coach. He seems to be beyond his years as far as game management. Who would have thought of that play there? Hey, pick up 4 yards, still give yourself an opportunity to kick a field goal.
Yeah, well, they got Cromartie standing underneath the goalpost. He better make sure he drills it, because I don't want him returning it.
Not with all those big, heavy guys on that field goal blocking team there.
From 54. Is it long enough? No. No good. A little short, a little wide to the right in the half. A very entertaining half is over. Broncos get the ball to start the third. We saw this at practice on Saturday. As those field goals go back, Cromartie stands back there. The old AFL, they said Otis Taylor used to be trying to block it at the goalpost, remember? He can't do that, but he was trying to keep it in bounds and catch it and run.
They like the way they play defense. They've given up 2 first downs on third down in the second half. Only 7 points scored against the Broncos on defense. I want to see if they can do it without Brian Dawkins.
If I'm the San Diego Chargers, keep the pedal to the metal. Phillip Rivers at 165 yards passing in the first half. Keep dialing up that volume. Keep dialing up the passing plays. Rivers is hot.
Josh McDaniels' offense gets it first. Nate Kading kicks to Eddie Royal, who has 2 returns for touchdown tonight. 1 kickoff, 1 punt. Going to take this one at the 11. To the right side, be taken out of bounds at the 26-yard line. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, I spoke with Josh McDaniels just moments ago, and he said one of the reasons his offense isn't in rhythm yet was because of those 2 quick return scores, and the offense hasn't had enough time to get on the field and get in the rhythm. He's looking forward to starting with the ball here, Mike, and all the while Norv Turner says we still have to pressure Orton when he's out there. He's sliding, he's moving. We've got to get pressure on him and try to contain him, Mike.
That offensive line all year, Michelle, has been doing a good job for Denver, so Norv Turner's not alone. 5 games Broncos have played. Quarterback's been sacked 8 times. Moreno, loss of 1. Kevin Ellison, the rookie out of USC. No turnovers tonight. You can hear the Denver bench asking for and getting the holding foul on Ellison.
Well, that's a matchup that the Denver Broncos will take all day long. They split Tony Scheffler out there. They get him against the rookie from USC, Kevin Ellison.
Defense, number 25. Ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. First down.
I don't see it.
I don't either. It looked like just a heck of a play by Ellison, reaching in and tapping the ball out.
What they were asking for on the sideline was holding, which would tell you that if there was something, it would be from behind there, which is the direction the flag came from. Now, I don't know if it happened or not.
Mike, it's in front of their bench. Of course they're going to yell.
Well, absolutely. That's why. From the 45, they go right back to Scheffler, right in front of Ellison, gain of 5. On 2nd and 4, here comes Moreno. Sean seeking the first down. Very close to the line is Merriman. Close to the tackle. Sean Merriman, first-round pick in 05. The terrific start. Pro Bowl his first 3 years, 39.5 sacks. And then the knee injury, only played 1 game in 08. Felt he was overcompensating on the comeback from the knee injury, and that hurt his groin, and thus limited him here at the start of the season.
He hadn't played a full football game in over a year. His playing stamina will come into play. See how much he has in the tank here in the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Extra offensive lineman, Russ Hochstein, 71, in for Denver. Short yardage. Moreno stopped as a flag came down. Good short yardage defense by the Chargers. And the flag is thrown. The Chargers wanted to get the flag because Moreno's helmet comes off, and Noshan may have taken it off under his own. Can't do that. Well, let's see. That's what they were asking for.
Another one of those officials' huddles.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal shift, offense, 2 men moving. That penalty is declined. Delay of game, spiking the ball, running back. That penalty is enforced. It is 4th down.
Lucky they got that, not the one with the helmet. Would have been 15.
There's a lot of stuff going on after the whistle. But you don't want to spike the ball in that guy's face because Sean Merriman eats nails for lunch. That's just not using common sense, guys.
Don't want to wake him up.
Don't want to do that.
So Brett Kern kicks to Darren Sproles. Last punt, Sproles took back for a touchdown. Won't get his hands on this one, as it's a touchback and a net of just 30 yards.
Goes in here, top for a touchback.
Back on the field to start the 2nd half. So is Mario Hagan. So is Ronald Fields. 3 starters hurt in the first half, all starting this half. Tomlinson runs for 3. Andre Davis, the tackle. Brian Dawkins back for Denver.
It's great to see Dawkins back. And that's the 12th carry for LaDainian Tomlinson in this game. And Norv Turner, his philosophy, he loves to come out throwing, and he loves to put you away with a running game.
Well, then start throwing it.
Even mix so far, 15 runs, 17 passes. 2nd and 7, Rivers gets rid of it last second. Too tall for Chambers. You saw the marker come in as Andre Goodman was going for the ball.
Two fouls against the defense, offside. Number 91, that penalty is declined. Holding, defense. Number 57, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Hagan, the guy hurt in the first half. Started this half.
Oh, Hagan jumped out there and just grabs Chris Chambers, and the referee's on top of it. But some of these penalties I'm seeing tonight, I don't know, maybe my eyes aren't working, Jaws.
Sometimes they don't. Missed a few like the officials do.
The 28, Rivers. Tomlinson picked up the pressure. The pass is incomplete. Now, Denver's doing a nice job of bringing pressure on Rivers.
Mike Nolan's done a terrific job with this defense as a coordinator, considering the turnover they've had.
2nd and 10. Rivers comes to the right to Tolbert. Got a couple of blocks. Second catch of the night. Tolbert took it out to the 46-yard line. And a first down, gain of 18.
Well, it's another Norv Turner screen. I think it's the 4th one I've seen tonight. All of them have been different. This is a double screen. Watch him pump to his left, try to get the linebackers going that way, and then they forget about Mike Tolbert. Second-year player out of Coastal Carolina, and that guy has speed to burn after the catch for a 250-pounder. How about that center of gravity? How would you like to make that tackle?
Yeah, how about some big fellas out front? They got Murkowski out there, Vasquez out there. Guys are rolling out in front of that screen.
Ball right.
LT looking for space. Well, the running game was not going when we got here, and it still hasn't to this point. The Chargers under 3 yards a carry. Chargers sitting on 54 yards rushing per game. Right now, 16 rushes for 46 yards.
But they haven't abandoned the run, Mike, and I think that's the key. They're still forcing the Denver Broncos to play the run. Certainly not gaining the yardage they'd like to get, but they're having the opportunity to still run it by keeping this offense on schedule.
Second and 9, Rivers in a collapsing pocket, floats it out complete to Chambers. Touchdown at the 36. Elvis Dumerville almost got there.
Phillip Rivers is amazing in the pocket. Watch him set up. He is oblivious to pressure. No cabin fever at all. Bodies around. He steps up, waiting and waiting for Chambers to clear. All of a sudden, the defense expands. There's a big hole in the defense, and Rivers just holds on to the last second and delivers.
Well, he's 6'5", and he can see over all the congestion. Big play for the Chargers.
Tomlinson. All that moving and changing for a yard.
I really like what Phillip Rivers did there. He saw the free safety blitz coming off the weak side, and he told us yesterday, I'm going to have a lot more to do with the running game this week than I have because of that guy Dawkins. And he audibles at the line of scrimmage. Watch, he's going to see Dawkins coming down here on the weak side. He says, I'm not running into that mess. I'm going to run the ball to the right side away from Dawkins and give us a chance.
So even though it's a gain of 1, that's good grade for your quarterback.
Heads up football play.
Second and 9. Rivers incomplete for Chambers with Andre Goodman covering over there on that far side.
Andre Goodman in nice position on Chambers. The one thing when you play that press, you're pushing, you're bumping, it breaks down the timing and the rhythm that a quarterback has. In that case, Phillip Rivers, with the pocket collapsing, could not wait any longer, had to deliver the ball a bit prematurely, consequently incomplete to the outside.
We'll get to one of those third down situations, and there you go. 2 of 30 allowed by this defense all year. None in the last 3 games. This is 3rd and 9. Sproles on the edge. Keeps that going. So there's a third down stop. However, the yardage gets them to right around a 50-yard field goal attempt for Nate Cater.
Now, you talk about Elvis Dumerville and all the pass rushing ability. How about his pursuit? I mean, his ability to read the screen, turn and run, and make a play out by the numbers is impressive.
And John, you talk about effort. Effort. That was a heck of an effort by Dumerville to get to that play.
Remember, we told you with those 2 made, he's the all-time accuracy king in field goals in the league. First attempt from 50 of the season. And he keeps the roll going. Sure, Donald Trump, Drew, your golf partner, will be prominently featured in that tomorrow night.
Donald Trump and John Gruden took $20 off of Mike, so we don't want to forget that.
John hasn't spent his. From the 3 Royal. Got a nice block from Peyton Hillis, but couldn't find an opening. Much better coverage this half. Juan Cason on the tackle. Broncos start from the 23 with Orton. Comes back to his second look. That's Brandon Marshall at the 38, 15 first down yards for number 15.
Well, there's the guy you got to get going. There, what do you call him, the beast? 6'4". The guy has 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games. Watch him come off the ball with a wide departure from that close split. Good job at the top of his route. He really backed off Cromartie. Excellent job by Brandon Marshall.
Yeah, he's only got 2 catches. He needs to be more involved in this offense. He's the explosive player on them.
Got to feed the beast.
Off the field after that play. Orton goes to that side again. Scheffler catching in front of Ellison. Burnett comes to the cleanup for the tackle. You know, you talk about Marshall guys, and we mentioned him earlier when he got the penalty. He was incredibly productive in Mike Shanahan's offense. I mean, as you guys pointed out, we should remember Mike Shanahan, great offensive coach. You see what Marshall has continued to do. Making adjustment in this system, and he's making the comparisons to the New England system, where Josh McDaniels called the plays. He saw what Moss and Welker can do in that system, and he's getting into the less freedom, more do what those guys did role here in Denver. Buckhalter right, got a nice block on the edge from Daniel Graham and takes it into Charger territory at the 45.
That's a great call by Josh McDaniels. You're going to see the blitz coming up here at the top of the screen. They got the perfect play called the other way. A toss sweep, and Buckhalter comes in fresh and gets the corner. Excellent play selection.
Yeah, and Merriman was flipped over to the left side of the defense. He was dropping out into pass coverage, and the run came right at him. He had a soft corner for Buck coming around the edge.
I like the mix of backs with Buckhalter and Noshawn Moreno, the rookie. Play action, Buckhalter. Deep shot down the field toward Marshall into double coverage. Incomplete with Ellison and Cromartie running with Brandon.
Well, I like the fact that they took the shot. They're at the area of the field where you can go for it. You just cross that 50-yard line, you get in that go zone. But quite honestly, Brandon Marshall did a good job of knocking this ball away at the end, or Antonio Cromartie probably would have had an interception.
Big receiver at 6'4", gets on you fast, doesn't he? 2nd and 10. Orton spits it out. Scheffler down the sideline. Oh, they liked it over there, huh? You hear that? Put his shoulder down at Cromartie for the first down.
Tony Scheffler is a terrific receiver, you know, and a good job by Orton reading the deep routes. The defense expanded. He comes back underneath Scheffler. Look at Orton. Good vision down the field. He sees the deep routes were covered. Come back underneath. Stay with the progression. This is Kyle Orton's game. Keep the offense on schedule.
Quick snap. Buckhalter moves it inside the 30. A gain of about 5 on first down, and Denver getting a little crispness going to their offense.
You know, that's a new run really here in Denver. It's a one-back power play. I don't know how many different ways they run it, but they're going to pull the backside guard from the shotgun, get a double team at the point of attack, and slam one of these backs in there repeatedly. There it is again the other way.
And it's only going to gain a yard as Tim Dobbins squishes Moreno like a pretzel there. We get some unhappy folks after the play.
One of the things Josh McDaniel did coming to Denver, he brought his New England running game. And Rick Dennison, the offensive line coach who's been here a long time, has been a zone blocking. They've been machines here running a zone scheme for years, but now they're more of a power trap and wrap type football team. And it does take a lot of transition for these guys.
But they've done a great job because they have an athletic offensive line. They can use those wraps and those traps that you just spoke about.
In field goal range on 3rd down and 4. Who's coming? They bring 5. They blocked them, and Orton completes it to Marshall. Jammer couldn't get him the first time, but finally brings him down at the 19. You see the strength of Marshall, gain of 9.
That was the beast latching onto the football, but Kyle Orton delivered a strike, a small window to throw into, and he just rifles this ball in there. You see excellent coverage by Jammer, but boy, this ball is right on the money, and you see the hands of Marshall.
Wow, how about the pass protection?
Yeah.
I mean, Ron Rivera, defensive coordinator for San Diego, is throwing all kind of blitzes at Denver, and they're picking up every one of them.
That's an experienced offensive line.
In the red zone, Broncos, Orton, a pump and a throw for Scheffler, the tight end, who brought it down inbounds. Touchdown, Broncos.
Well, the last few throws of Scheffler have been underneath. They've been getting the safeties to bite. We've seen it with Kevin Ellison jumping the routes. Here, late in the play, it's on Weddle. Look at the catch. 1, 2, possession, through the catch, touchdown Denver.
Great.
Scheffler's a joker. He's a guy that can play in any formation, and when you get a guy with this kind of athletic ability out there against the safety, he's gonna win. He averages 14 yards a catch at the tight end position. That is crazy.
Rader gives Denver the 1-point lead, 24-23. Yet another lead change here tonight.
He can hurt you real bad. And this offensive line, Ryan Clady at left tackle, Casey Wigman, the center. He's played about 150 straight games.
133.
Ryan Harris, emerging star at right tackle. These guys have played together a long time, and it shows. Rick Dennison, their offensive line coach, held over with Josh McDaniels. They've done an excellent job taking care of their quarterback.
They have communicated very well. That nonverbal communication that's so important for the offensive line.
Darren Sproles already taking a punt back tonight. Tackles, he came across the 25. Darcel McBath with another tackle. Broncos 24, Chargers 23. It's a lot better for Denver fans in the last visit to San Diego. Remember the great success the Chargers had. LT, big run. Across the 40-yard line for the first down. Got a good block as DJ Williams was taken out of the play.
Well, you are right. You go out there in pregame warm-up and stand next to these guys playing catch on the field. You look up at Vincent Jackson and Gates and Osgood, and I mean, these guys are monsters. They can eat their lunch off the top of my head, and they're intimidating because of their size.
Well, John, I had a guy, Harold Carmichael, 6'7", 235, a big radius to throw to. It's a lot easier playing the quarterback position. You got targets like that.
LT's long run, 17. And he tries to make a move in the open field. Good first down carry as Andre Goodman makes the tackle.
Okay, there's back-to-back runs, and that's how you get a great back heated up. Give them some exercise in the first half, bring them out of the locker room to start the third quarter, and give them back-to-back runs. And that's 2 runs for 20 yards. And if this guy gets it going, we said it earlier, watch out for the Chargers.
That 17-yard run he had was the longest of the season. Followed up with a 6, and now a no-gainer here as Elvis Dumervil is over there with DJ Williams to make the stop.
You know, and it's so much easier to play the quarterback position when the running game is going. And everyone talks about establishing the run. Well, what it means is when you're running the football, you're starting to get those linebackers a little nosy. They're not taking their buzz back into their passing lanes. You're getting the safeties not as deep. They're playing a little closer to the line of scrimmage. So you open up voids in the defense with the play action. That's why you need to get the running game going.
There's a third down where the Broncos have been exceptional in the second half of games thus far this year. Rivers, look out from behind. Slapped out by Dumervil. Turned over for the first time tonight. The Broncos have it. Vonnie Holiday, the recovery.
Well, you're going to see Elvis Dumervil coming off here. He's going to beat a tight end, and Rivers never saw him. And that's one of the things about this Mike Nolan defense is you see Dumervil now beating tight ends and backs. And when he has to beat a tackle, he does that. That's his 9th sack.
Yeah, that was Brandon Manumaleuna, who's usually an outstanding pass protector, but it was a 3-step drop, and Rivers held on to the football. Good coverage in the secondary.
Great field position for the Broncos. And a quick toss to Moreno. Ryan Clady was out there trying to block and no gain. As Dumervil gets the plaudits for his play. That 9 sacks leads the NFL. And Antoine Odom, who was tied with him for the lead in Cincinnati, unfortunately torn Achilles, out for the season in their loss to Mario Williams in Houston yesterday. Moreno is the back. The pass by Orton, incomplete for Gaffney.
That's a big-time play by Antonio Cromartie. He's going to be up here in bump and run coverage. Gaffney's going to try to give him a little double move, a little stutter go, and then come back. That's great job by Antonio Cromartie getting his body down and out of the break. That's two great plays by the former Pro Bowler.
Would be a big momentum stopper for the Chargers D. Orton, nobody open. A flag down in the secondary as Orton takes off. Comes down a yard and a half shy of the first down. And I mentioned that flag thrown back in the secondary. And Orton saw it as he took off.
I think Phillips tackled Eddie Royal on a shallow cross. Number 95 just did a little too much with his hands.
Holding. Defense, 5-yard penalty be added to the end of the run. First down.
Well, take a look at it. Royal's going to run a shallow cross, and Phillips just grabbed his shoulder pads and held him. A great call by the official. I saw that one from up here.
Wow. Should you record, can we record that?
Back now. Your eye.
America. America.
Yeah.
8:56 Pacific time. John Gruden, quote, great call by the official.
Yeah. Write that one down.
Zebras rejoice around North America.
Right. Mike Pereira's happy.
From the 34, here's Marshall, left side. Right toward that first down mark. A good gain on first down.
Boy, so much of what Brandon Marshall does is after the catch. Hitches, quick screens, just get his hands on the football. Great design by Josh McDaniels. Little design bubble screen with help out front. This is 6'4", 230 pounds, and he will not go down.
Not even why I call him the Beast.
Yep.
Are you getting it?
He's over there on Cromartie at the top of your screen. Here's Moreno. At the point, Ian Scott just signed by this team earlier this week. Josh McDaniels, 33 years old, on the left side of the screen. His team's just found ways to win. Haven't lost at all in the first 5. Norv Turner on the right. Been a head coach in this league for a dozen years. 3rd year here in San Diego. His Chargers 2-2. Had really 14 days to stew in what was left of their very poor performance in Pittsburgh, which ended up being a 38-28 loss because they got back in it in the 4th quarter. But now facing the reality of needing to win this quarter here at home to avoid going down 3.5 in the standings to the Broncos with a head-to-head loss. It's early, but it's a pretty big hole. The quarter starts with 3rd and 2. And Brandon Marshall gets the first down across the 20 into the 17.
And a beautiful rub by Eddie Royal on the inside to allow Brandon Marshall to free up on the outside. That was well designed for a 3rd and short situation. You'll see Marshall come across in motion. He takes it upfield. There's a little rub right there by Royal in a man coverage. Excellent job of getting a little pick. That's illegal. It's called a rub.
First down run with Buckhalter in the middle. Alfonso Boone joins Sean Merriman with the tackle. 11 in the East, 8 p.m. out here in the West. And boy, if we had some intrigue tonight. Eddie Royal's taking back a punt and a kickoff. Darren Sproles took back a punt. So it's the first game in the history of the league where each team's had a punt return for touchdown, and one of those 2 teams also had a kick return for touchdown. Never happened in the NFL until tonight. Added to the high-scoring game through 3 quarters. Orton, Buckhalter out of the backfield, tackled by Cromartie, who's been very active tonight, and a manageable 3rd and 3 or so coming up.
Yeah, Cromartie has really entered into the running game tonight. He had some problems in the Pittsburgh game a couple weeks ago where he was backing away, as John likes to say, making some business decisions, but tonight he's been flying around the field. It really has been a different attitude for the Chargers defense. They have been flying around and hitting people tonight, very aggressive.
Moving Marshall a little bit tighter to the formation. It's officially 3rd and 4. Into the louder end of the stadium. The throw for Royal, incomplete. And a field goal try coming.
Well, Ron Rivera, defensive coordinator of the Chargers, rushes only 3 Chargers. It's a 3-man rush, and they use an extra defender in coverage. And they can contest a lot of these intermediate throwing lanes when you have a loaded group of people covering.
And Kevin Burnett in really, really good coverage once again, forcing the tough throw for Kyle Orton.
Matt Prater from 29. Lead is 4, 27-23. 2-2, 1-3 has been typical. They won the division at 8-8 last year. Didn't lead the division until the last game of the season when they blew out the Broncos in here. Denver getting a little bit back at the Chargers tonight. Up 4, early 4th. Sproles from the 6. Down as he crosses the 25. 27 trying to set up the screen. Here's LT. Blown up Mario Hagan. A loss of 4 yards.
Well, a lot of times you get a man coverage scheme and you run that screen. Mario Hagan is responsible for LaDainian Tomlinson, and he just read it perfectly and blew it up. You'll see Phillips set it up, gets the ball out, but you don't get the kick-out block on the man responsible for LaDainian Tomlinson. That being Mario Hagan, he makes an awesome play.
It's great effort by LaKeven Smith. These Broncos play with great team effort.
And John, they've gotten better there. You saw the number of the second half. Chargers moved it a lot more easily in the first half. Incomplete. The coverage on the corner by Champ Bailey, the rookie. Ayers pressuring Rivers.
And Champ Bailey has been matching up to Vincent Jackson this evening and doing an outstanding job. Champ Bailey, one of the best cover guys in the National Football League. In fact, coming into this game tonight, he had been targeted 35 times. Only 14 were complete against him. That's 40% complete when you throw with Champ Bailey. Pretty good, huh, John?
Pretty good player, that guy, Bailey. You know, he's had hamstring problems. He's healthy, dominant shutdown guy in this league.
Over 3rd and long. Boomerville off the edge. Got him again on 3rd down. Last time it was the sack and the fumble. Take him to double digits. Sack 10 on the season for Elvis.
Well, he got Jeremy Clary, the right tackle. Take a look at it. You're going to see him down here at the bottom of the screen. And Elvis can get off the ball. I'm telling you, he gets off the ball. He edges Clary and just keeps coming. That's number 10.
Mike Cyphers, who struggled with a groin injury and hasn't been gaining the distance with his kicks up until that one. 56 yards. Royal from the 24, trying to get to the sideline, some blocking, but that was well pursued by the special teamers of the Chargers. They've defeated Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Oakland. At that point, people say, well, who knows? Who have they really beaten? But then beat Dallas, beat New England. And if they go San Diego and those 3 in a row, you can start believing. Broncos looking for 6-0 in the season. And Buckhalter into the secondary. Terrell Buckhalter taken to the sideline and a first down across the 45.
One of the things I really like about this Bronco running game is they never lose yardage. Every run is a positive run. And their backs are good enough. If you give them enough good looks, they pop a few of them. And that's excellent blocking on the backside.
John, how about this stat? 149 runs coming into this game, and you just said it, only 7 of them were negative yardage plays. That's a consistent running game. Love the term. It keeps your offense on schedule.
Watch Buckhalter take the gain of 15. Now Kevin Burnett was injured the second time. The game's been stopped for Burnett as he is helped off by the Charger training staff.
Oh, the Chargers are hurting at linebacker. Stephen Cooper came in tonight. He was hurt. Here's Burnett hurt. Merriman's just coming back. Phillips has had a calf. They're running out of guys that can play linebacker here.
51, Tim Dobbins comes in for the injured Burnett. Burnett came over from Dallas, a rare free agent signing for the Chargers, and Ron Rivera, the defensive coordinator here.
He's an ex-linebacker. He might have to play if they get any more injuries at that position. This is a key situation for the Chargers.
Yeah, Ron Rivera's done an outstanding job with his defense. A lot of injuries, had to patch it together.
3 receivers, 1 back, and Buckhalter squirts through the hole for a half dozen on first down. Steve Gregory made the tackle.
You know, Ron Rivera was with, Buddy Ryan, that Bear defense as a player, and, the 80s, 85 team, was with Jim Johnson, the Eagles defensive coordinator, very aggressive, but he just doesn't have the weapons here right now to play that attack style of defense. He really wants to get after the quarterback, but due to the injuries, you can't be too aggressive.
A gun run with Buckhalter, his 10th carry of the night, lost the football. A Bronco was right there and did come up with the recovery. So Buckhalter put it down on the ground. And Ben Hamilton, the guard, seemed to be the player down there, bottom of the pile.
So you see Buckhalter coming through, and boy, you'll see in this part of the game, defenders will go for the strip. They will try to punch the ball out, knock the ball out. That's one of the staples of Ron Rivera. You go to their practice and watch what they do. Punching the ball, going for the ball, create turnovers.
And Sean Phillips got there the same time as Ben Hamilton of Denver, and the guard pulled it away from the linebacker. Lamont Jordan checks in. And we get a timeout taken by Denver and Josh McDaniels. 3rd and 1 for the Broncos. Moreno treats it like a goal line run, diving for the marker, and we'll check the spot.
Well, it looks like he got a favorable spot.
Don't normally see players with a goal line type dive at the 45-yard line.
It's a big play. The Broncos need to convert that 3rd and short. Moreno sold out. You'd love to see that.
Well, he went up. He has the first down. There's no question, Jaws. If I'm wrong here.
Well, you said your eyes have been very good lately. Let's see. Ooh, okay, you're right in this one.
Not many guys go over the top on a power play. They pull the backside guard, and Moreno launches to get the first down. And it's just another case of effort from the Denver Bronco football team. Look at this guy. Woo. That's impressive.
Stephen Cooper nails him in midair, but it's about 6 inches enough for the first down.
Great shot. You appreciate every player and the pounding the bodies take. Snap in, snap out. Keep the drive going. Moreno runs right. Ran the tight end. Couldn't get to Jammer on the corner for that block. See on the inside.
The Chargers defense been on the field for 27 snaps, and the Denver Broncos defense only 15. So you got to believe that Charger defense starting to wear down a little bit.
Sean Moreno left. And again, it'll be 3rd and about 3 yards.
These kind of drives, they just kill Phillip Rivers. Just kills the offensive football team. They never get on the field. They lose all sense of rhythm that they created in the first half. And this is a great championship drive by the Denver Broncos.
They're dominating the second half, and they've been that way all season long. It's kind of been their signature of this 5-0 start. Second half dominance.
6 plays, all runs. First pass attempt. Incomplete for Royal. Cromartie was all over him.
Cromartie
everywhere.
Yeah, Mike, you nailed it. Cromartie has been very strong in that press, bump and run position. You don't want to give him a zone type look where he could check it down. Cromartie going to be right here, right in the face of Eddie Royal. Boy, he plays the route perfectly. No window for Kyle Orton to throw that ball into, but Cromartie has been outstanding in that press coverage.
Let's see what Brett Kern can do in trying to pin the Chargers inside the 20, and we get a timeout. San Diego had personnel confusion. North Turner's team entering their division stretch here, where 5 of the next 7 will be played in the AFC West. Can Kern pin him back? Nope.
Mike Nolan, Josh McDaniels, and these Denver Bronco players play with supreme effort.
And you showed us some earlier this year, a lot of examples of the Broncos doing that all season. Here we go from the 20 with Rivers. Pressured. He lost the ball and luckily gets it bouncing right back to him. DJ Williams up the middle with the sack.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. Right up the middle off the play action fake. You see Phillips set up, try to get it downfield. He had Gates, but didn't have time to deliver the football. Here comes the pocket collapsing. Phillips is very fortunate to get the bounce to come back to him. This Denver defense is starting to swarm. 3 sacks now in the last 5 snaps. They're starting to feel it, and we're seeing that great effort, John.
Second and 21. Rivers complete. Vincent Jackson goes down 4 yards shy of the first down. Well, third down coming up.
Jeff Bailey on the coverage.
Well, that's what Josh McDaniels told us last night. They want to make San Diego a one-dimensional football team. And when you get them behind in the down and distance like they have these last 3 series with the sacks, Denver's a problem.
Yeah, they're playing uphill behind the down, and that's what's hurting Philip Rivers. He's having to wait too long and constantly holding on the ball. Here comes the pressure.
Again, no third down conversions tonight. Last 3+ games. Rivers shot down the field. Incomplete flag. Andre Goodman had a hand on Vincent Jackson. Jackson was going deep, the ball thrown well under him as he was turning back to the left.
That's a really good break for the San Diego Chargers because the route was coming to the inside by Vincent Jackson. The ball was thrown to the outside, and that caused the contact right there. Jackson had located the ball, was trying to get back to the outside, and Goodman hooked him right there. If the ball was to the inside down the field, you probably would not have had that call because Jackson would have kept going straight up the field.
And what a huge penalty
Wow.
it is, all the way down to the 40, a 34-yard pass interference call on Goodman. So they convert a third down via the penalty. And there's Tomlinson. Only a yard for LT.
There's a running play. You're going to see the old F counter. Watch the fullback. He's pulling to the play side. There's some penetration. It's a good effort by Hester. But these Denver Broncos haven't given LaDainian Tomlinson many good looks running the ball.
Yeah, very disciplined. They really, stay with their fits and work in harmony on the defensive side.
Second and 8, Doomerville off the bottom of the screen. Pressure up the middle on Rivers. And the pass is incomplete. Andre Davis, who spent 7 years with the Browns, now a Bronco and fitting in well on this defense.
We see it as we watch the league right now. Inside pressure right there, number 54, Andre Davis. Right up that A-gap, unblocked. A little delayed blitz, and he comes in clean. The Charger offensive line did not see it, did not pick it up. So Philip Rivers did not get a completion. Big third down right now for the San Diego Chargers.
5 DBs for Denver. More pressure. Rivers has time, but too tall. And incomplete for Floyd. Ball sitting at the 38-yard line. Fourth down.
Well, there's a lot of pressure right now. Here's a double A-gap blitz. You're going to see 2 defenders right there in the A-gaps. And watch Sproles come across the formation and dig one of them out. Blitz is well picked up. But when you have corners like Champ Bailey and Andre Goodman and the veteran secondary, they're good enough to handle the one-on-one situations.
From the 38, they'll go for it, not take the long 56-yard field goal attempt. Bringing 4, a little more time for Rivers, and he throws incomplete. Floyd was there trying to make a difficult catch, but Champ Bailey and DJ Williams on a defense with 8 new starters. There are a couple of holdovers. Those are 2 of them, and they made a big play to get the ball back for the Broncos.
DJ Williams had a really good buzz or drop into his zone, and you'll see him right here. Philip Rivers had to throw slightly behind the receiver right there. You'll see Malcolm Floyd because the underneath coverage of DJ Williams. If it would have been out in front, DJ Williams would have picked it off. good drop by DJ Williams into his zone.
Rivers and the Chargers hope to get their hands back on the ball with a chance. It's a 4-point game with 5:40 to go. Moreno runs right. Phillips tags him. Nuapo with the tackle. By the way, Kevin Burnett, who was hurt before, was taken off via cart to the locker room. So one of the starters done for San Diego.
Denver Broncos have 28 rushing plays so far in this game for 99 yards. They're keeping that offense on schedule, staying out of that third and long situation.
Out of the gun, quick out of the hand. Scheffler down the sideline. Into San Diego territory. And a missed tackle takes Scheffler inside the 10. First and goal, 52 yards on the pass and run.
Scheffler really has been the joker, John, as you like to say, getting him outside in one-on-one matchups.
Yeah, but take a look at it. They got Scheffler against the safety, and Weddle can't handle him. It's just a simple hitch route. Scheffler makes one guy miss, and he has speed to run. This guy, Tony Scheffler, is taking the game over. The safeties for the San Diego Chargers can't handle him in one-on-one coverage.
This is huge for the Charger defense. They've got to try to hold him to a field goal, keep it a one-possession game. Moreno, no gain. This will take us inside of 4 minutes in regulation.
The Chargers are thin at the safety position. They released Clinton Hart earlier this week. He was their starter. You're seeing Steve Gregory, a fourth-year player. Kevin Ellison, the rookie out of USC. There's not an experienced bunch back there right now at the safety position.
Oh, when you play man-to-man coverage and the corners cover the wide receiver, who covers Scheffler out there? It's got to be a safety, and he is dominating this second half.
Hit to Moreno up the middle. Weddle meets him at the 5. 3:30 to go. San Diego sit with 2 timeouts left.
Eric Weddle, Kevin Ellison with the tackle. In 3. Third and goal.
Critical situation in the ball game. I expect to see the Denver Broncos spread them out right here. 3 wide receivers out to the left.
Royal, Brandon Stokely, and Marshall. Orton looks back that way. Throws to the goal line. Stokely rolled in. Touchdown. Now, Cromartie said he was down, but I don't know if he ever made contact with him. And Stokely, the veteran, rolled into the end zone.
This might be very close.
Let's see if contact is made with him as he's down. First, look for the catch. Yep,
yes.
He does make contact with him. And the question will be, did the ball ever break the plane while he had possession of it?
No.
From there, it looks not to be the case. Challenge flag thrown by Norv Turner.
I believe that ball will be spotted about 6 inches short of the goal line.
San Diego is challenging on the ruling on the field. That is the touchdown.
Yeah, and the whole time this thing is going on, while they look at this, Josh McDaniels is thinking about, what do I do on 4th down here in inches? Do I go with the decisive blow and knock them out, or kick the field goal?
All right, you've been in this situation. What would you do?
Well, the way we've been blocking here in the second half, I think I'm going to go for the knockout punch right here, because it's going to be on the 1-inch line.
Well, I'm going to be not as courageous as you, Coach. I'm going to kick the field goal here and put it on my defense.
Now, guys, there's the touch. And the question's going to become, where did he catch the ball? Okay? On the reception, was any part of the ball breaking the plane? As you know, he comes back to the ball and rolls forward. There has to be conclusive evidence to overturn that. Now, I don't know, can't get in the mind of the official looking down the goal line. Was he making the call that he rolled into the end zone, or that he had possession while the ball was breaking the plane? That's a touchdown. We don't know what gave him the reason to call it a touchdown, so we can't deduce from that.
Well, you'll see Stokely right there. Boy, that is very, very close. You're right, Mike. If the ball did break the plane, it would be a touchdown.
There, as his foot comes down, that second foot comes down, is where the act of the catch, if you will, begins to end. He was coming forward toward the goal line, so at that point.
Well, I think it's a touchdown. But my point is, with Josh McDaniels and his staff, they have to have that decision ready.
Sure.
Are we going to go forward on 4th down, or are we going to kick the field goal? If you kick the field goal, assuming you make it, you give Phillip Rivers, who's really been an outstanding player in the 2-minute situations at the end of games, a chance.
All right, let's see what the call is. You think it's a touchdown?
I think it is a touchdown.
Yeah.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field is confirmed. The receiver had possession of the ball with 2 feet down in the end zone. The play is over at that point.
So it's a touchdown for Stokely, and the Broncos take a 10-point lead, 33-23.
Well, that decision to go for it, San Diego went for it on 4th down on the 40-yard line. You don't make it, you give that Denver Bronco offense a short field, and boy, did they take advantage with a championship caliber drive.
Norv Turner wanted a further explanation from Scott Green, but he gave the explanation. The rule is confirmed and gave the specifics of it, not the call stands. Extra point by Prater makes it an 11-point game. That's a significant distinction between the two, because the call stands means we didn't see enough to overturn it. He said that he caught the ball when that second foot came down with possession over the goal line.
Yeah, Mike, as I was watching the play live, watching the side judge make the call, when Stokely caught the ball, he did not give the touchdown signal. When Stokely rolled in the end zone, that's when he gave the touchdown signal. So my feeling was he believed that Stokely was not touched down by Cromartie, and he waited till he rolled in the end zone.
Well, the whys behind it are a moot point, but one more look at it for you here. As it's 34-23, and Brian Dawkins and company have an 11-point lead to protect. So when that second foot came down, the ruling that he did have possession of the ball and breaking the plane.
Correct. You really couldn't tell from that angle.
Well, San Diego knows it's a 2-possession game, and they have got to move the ball quickly in position to get either a field goal or a touchdown to give themselves a chance to set up an onside kick. But Phillip Rivers has his work cut out for him right now. Denver has not given up a point in the 4th quarter all year.
They've only given up 3 second-half points here tonight and 10 second-half points in almost 6 games now.
Yeah, incredible.
It's a big mountain.
Incredible.
Rolls has brought back a punt for a touchdown tonight. He'll get his hands on this kickoff at the 4. Fake the reverse action to Cromartie. And down at 23, Darrell Reed leading the charge. What has happened in the second half? It has been, once again, the Broncos controlling a second half of a game. And, you know, everybody works hard to get prepared. Everybody's got their little story of, we did this, we did that. Denver at the high altitude, new coach comes in. Josh McDaniels had them practicing a little bit more, running with their pads on after practice at that mile-high altitude. And that second half, man, maybe the guys weren't loving it in July and early August. They're loving it in September and October.
Hey, Mike, I'm not sure every team works as hard as they lead you to believe they work, conditioning-wise.
All right, here we go. Down 11. It'll be 2-minute drill time. Gates. Shy of the 30. And again, because of the timeout and the challenge that was not successful, San Diego down to 1 timeout. Rivers has to step up. There's an open window for Chambers to the 46-yard line.
Nice job by Rivers moving in the pocket.
Buying a little time, letting Antonio Gates open up, uncover down the field.
Squeeze in another play before the 2-minute warning. Denver now just rushing 4, 7 in coverage. Rivers a sideline shot that is caught by Vincent Jackson. Quickly they've moved down here to the 36-yard line at the 2-minute warning. There's Pat Bowlen, President CEO of the Broncos for a quarter century, 5 Super Bowls. Made the very bold decision to let Mike Shanahan go after a great service to this organization and hire that man, Josh McDaniels, 33. Kind of keeping with the profile of Denver coaches, young offensive-minded coaches. Standing on the doorstep of 6-0. One timeout for the Chargers in the last 2. Rivers had his arm hit, still completes it to Gates, gets through the Dawkins tackle, runs through for the first down. DJ Williams, the man who hit the quarterback.
How can you not fall in love with Antonio Gates? Oh, what a football player.
I like the call by Mike Nolan. He continues to stay aggressive with pressure.
Rivers looking for someplace. Down the sideline, incomplete for Tomlinson. Wesley Woodyard was following him all the way.
If Phillip Rivers would have set his feet, he had a touchdown by laying it out to LaDainian Tomlinson. He kept moving and flicked the ball out, end up underthrowing Tomlinson. You'll see it right here. Phillip sets up in a pocket. He gets flushed to his left. Now he's looking downfield. LaDainian just broke away. Throw it down to the back of the end zone. Underthrown. Would have been a touchdown. Went off of Woodyard's pads. Phillip would love to have that one back. Been there.
Number 27. Pressure again. Rivers hit. Lost the football. And it's recovered by the guard, Vasquez. But the clock continues to spin. And it's 3rd down. Darrell Reed came with the pressure, and Norv Turner is going to burn his final timeout after the 4th sack of this second half.
Well, it's a double A gap blitz. They keep bringing it. And here LaDainian Tomlinson doesn't hold up against DJ Williams. And they just keep coming. They keep coming. And they keep coming for 4 quarters. And the Denver Broncos finish games. And they're doing it again here on Monday Night Football.
Well, if they keep coming, then you got to keep blocking. And right now, that's been the problem right now with the San Diego Chargers. LaDainian Tomlinson, maybe a great running back. You've got to be able to pick up the blitz in this situation. DJ Williams just armed over him, got the hit on Phillip Rivers, put him up in his 3rd and long situation. Running backs in the National Football League must be able to block.
You guys are talking about this defense. I know San Diego has scored a couple of touchdowns tonight. One of them a return. So the defense itself has only allowed 5 touchdowns in 6 games. 3rd and 21. Remember, they do need a field goal somewhere here. So if they get some yards, not the first down, might think about a field goal attempt. Rivers pressure. He's hit as he throws again. Incomplete. The Denver pressure is putting Rivers down every snap. Ayers and Williams got there that time.
Well, DJ Williams is running hot. I mean, he's blitzing off the open side, and LaDainian Tomlinson can't block him right now. He's just overpowering, pushing the pocket, and Phillip Rivers has no chance.
They're going to go for the long field goal attempt, a 55-yarder, thinking the percentages of Kading doing that. You look at Rivers going, man, I've never been hit like this. And it's right, career-high 5 sacks on Rivers tonight. They're trying to get the 55-yarder, thinking that's more likely than converting 4th and 21. Kading misses to the left. No good. Good night. But Denver Broncos, 6-0.
And this has been a very difficult place for the Broncos to come in and win. Last year, that late season thumping, 52-21. They certainly have gotten retribution this evening.
And a second here, guys, about Kyle Orton. You know, everybody talked about the Cutler trade, and you're giving away a franchise quarterback. And I'll put my hand up. I'm one of the first people who said, you can't give away a franchise quarterback in a trade and get a guy like Orton who couldn't win the starting job and sustain it in Chicago. Well, guess what? Perfect fit with his offense. Those of us who said no, we're wrong.
You know, write it down. He's 27 and 12. Hello. You like a guy that wins or throws the ball. This guy's a winner.
We opened the show talking about he's the Rodney Dangerfield of NFL quarterbacks. Gets no respect. 27-12 as a starter right now. Got my respect, Sean.
And the undefeated teams in the National Football League after 6 weeks. Minnesota, Indianapolis, New Orleans, and Denver. 34-23. They come into San Diego and win.